I'm with Don Gruber from Christian Aid Ministries. Now, Don, what is Christian Aid Ministries?
Christian Aid Ministries is an international aid agency, and we're based in the United States. Our supporters are largely Anabaptist people, Amish, Mennonite background people, and we have a heart to help the world's needy.
And you've got offices here in Jerusalem?
Yes, we do. And we've been here since about 2009.
Now, you give out food and help people with physical needs. How much food do you give out each year?
Well, the exact figures I cannot quote, but I know that it's more than 200 containers, sea containers per year of aid are shipped from our Pennsylvania warehouse where the aid is packaged and shipped. And so hundreds and hundreds of tons are given out.
Now you're also reaching the spiritual and the physical needs of people, just like Jesus done, isn't it?
Well, this is our goal. And Jesus, it says, was moved with compassion when he saw the needs of the people. And for us, sharing the love of God ministers to people's deepest needs, really. It not only maybe clothes them or feeds them, but lets them know that someone cares about them and loves them, that they're not forgotten, that they're just not lost in the multitudes of around the world.
Now, here in the land, there are many African refugees that are coming in. How do you help them?
Well, the African refugees here are really in a difficult situation. They come to the land, I guess, illegally according to the laws of the land. Many of them are indeed refugees from war countries, war-torn countries such as Eritrea, especially Sudan, with the current conflict in the Darfur. Really, an ethnic cleansing is going on there, and so they have some really horrific stories, stories of being made slaves. Think of William. He was captured as a young boy, and he was made a slave to his master in the north of the country, and there were lots of slaves in his village. And he says that if someone would try to escape and they succeeded in catching them, they would cut the tendons on the back of the legs and parade them around in the village, saying, now if you try to escape to the other slaves, that this is what will happen to you, and so you'll be debilitated. So they're coming from a culture of war and oppression, and it's very, very sad stories. And so for them, the advanced economy here seems like a very attractive place, and so they think that everything will be solved when they arrive here. The problem is, after they cross, they're detained and then eventually released in Tel Aviv to fend for themselves. And technically, in most cases, they're not allowed to work. So, how are they supposed to survive? Not working. Of course, they need to survive. They need to work if they can. So there they are. They need shelter. They need blankets. They need food. So we try to address some of these needs as we can.
How many African refugees are there in the land?
There are around 50,000. Now, figures vary, but there are quite a few. There are quite a number. They're continuing to come. And they're trying to stop the inflow through the construction of a fence along the border. And this will be completed late this year or early next year, and this will stop the flow. But currently they're coming in hundreds per month and sometimes more than 1,000. Just somehow managing to be smuggled into the country. And it's a very... and they're also being taken advantage of by the smugglers in many cases, even where they're taking their organs, harvesting organs, extorting money from families and so forth.
So it's a very, very difficult situation.
Most certainly. And so they're here, and our desire is to help them where we can. And but there are many needs here too. This is not the only one.
Now you're also doing disaster relief. What things are you doing there?
Well, in here, right here in the land, we have done some work especially in the Gaza Strip, in disaster relief. During and after Operation Cast Lead, we helped with food, a large amount of food during this time and after. And of course, there was a lot of damage in the Strip, and we've helped in some ways as we could with fishing nets. There are fishermen. This is one viable industry still in Gaza, and so providing fishing nets. Many cases, boats were burnt, bombed, nets were destroyed. Many people lost their source of income, and fishing is not as easy as it used to be because of borders at the sea. They're not able to go to the best places to fish. But still, this is an industry in Gaza, and this is one way. We've helped some with house repair, with other what we call family self-support projects, where we try. You give someone food. This is good, but that doesn't solve a long-term problem, and so we prefer projects where we help someone gain the means to support themselves. So fishing nets are one. Maybe a grocery store. I help one get started, or a tuk-tuk. It's called, like a little motorized vehicle to do hauling, or a taxi. Things like this we like to do.
Is it easy actually to get into Gaza?
Well, yes and no. It has gotten harder. It is fairly routine still. As an international, it's easier to get in if you're registered with the government and so forth. You may apply to go in. It's fairly routine. There are more restrictions now on both sides, actually, as time moves on.
Now, do you work with both Arabs and Jews here in the land? And what is the main need here for both people?
Yes, we do. We work with both people groups here. And as an organization, Christian Aid Ministries makes a point of not being political, of helping all people, and people with needs. We want to help people with needs irregardless of their background, their faith. And so, yes, we help in both cases. And so we try to find needs that we can meet, and we help in multiple ways. And I detailed some of them. As far as the greatest need that there is with both people, well, this is a very good question. Deep down, most people here are able to get enough to eat. They're able to exist, and we try to help to make sure that this happens. But people, in many cases, don't feel free. You have the Palestinian people, and it's a difficult situation politically. What can you say? What can you say? And so, but deep down, I think everyone needs to be at peace, and this is the greatest need, I think, on both sides, in fact, because so one side is maybe the stronger, so to speak, economically, militarily, and the other the weaker as it stands now. But I think in general, neither side has the peace that they in the center that can make us strong enough to be okay to be at disadvantage or advantage.
Now, what sort of stories do you have of people that you've been helping here in the land?
Well, there are a lot of difficult situations, and it really is a privilege to just be an agent of helping people. From the benefit of many other generous supporters, it's my pleasure, our pleasure as an organization to share this with people. And I just have to think of a widow with a few children. She didn't have any real means of support other than a small home business, and she needed help upgrading, and there were no resources. She was supporting her parents, her children. Her husband had passed on, and so we helped her with starting the bakery. And there are many stories like this, little stories, little human interest stories, and it seems like it's so small. There's so many needs out there. We're overwhelmed with the needs, but each little bit makes a difference for that individual, that situation, and their surrounding family members.
Now, is it difficult ministering in a very religious environment, or can you just go cross-culturally and help people wherever they are and whatever their need is?
Well, yes, it is difficult. There are a lot of sensitivities. And on the other hand, love is universal. And if you're concerned, if you are genuinely interested, that goes a long ways. And we're still learning. We haven't been in the land so long, but it is very religiously charged. We're not used to that in the States. With the dominant group is, of course, Christianity in the States, and here you have the three major faiths of the world, and sometimes the conflict it gets intense, and but still, again, love is universal. And this is what is most important.
Why do you do what you do here in the land?
That's a good question. Well, we have received freely. We've been given much. And like our Lord, when he walked here, it says that he was moved with compassion when he saw the needs. And because I have been given much, because we have been given much, it's only right to share of this much, these things that we have been gifted with, and share God's love.
And what's it like for you ministering here where Jesus walked?
It's really a privilege. It's really an amazing opportunity to be walking right here as I read my Bible. I'm walking, living, existing in this very place, and it makes the Bible come alive in a new way. Also, you see how it's very ordinary, very, very, very ordinary. People are the same here as anywhere, and in that sense, it's very, very ordinary. But like when Jesus came as a baby, most of the world missed him. Just a few shepherds, a few wise men recognized his coming. Otherwise, everything went on. The hubbub and the din of life continued. It was ordinary. That's how it is in this land too. The life is ordinary. People have ordinary problems. People have ordinary existences and are crying out for normalcy. There just so much that you see in the scriptures. In the time of Jesus, you see played out in similar ways today.
And what's your prayer finally for the people here in the land?
My prayer is indeed that there would be a true peace, and we hope for political peace, but most of all, a resting peace within the heart.
Okay, Don, thank you very much.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure to spend some time with you today.